Welcome back to Let's Play Katawa Shoujo.
I don't know why I sang like that.
It's been a couple of days, but you know, it's like 23rd of January as I'm recording, and like it's 9 in the morning. I was up all night, my sleeping patterns all over the place. Not that there's anything new, because that tends to happen a lot. I'm just like, oh man, it's the first time since starting this LP that I've actually got to the point where it's like, oh shit, there's no friggin' parts left recorded in advance, so I've got to record now. But I'm just, at the same time, just kind of like, yeah. But let's do this. Next week, silly, I just told you a few days ago. True. I mean, it was a few days ago that I had last recorded. No, you didn't. I forgot. Well, you won't forget to come, though, will you? Of course I won't. I'll even make a note on a calendar or something. Rin nods sagely. That's probably a good idea, you know, unless time changes its course. It can do that? Rin gives a non-committal shrug. It hasn't yet, but you never know. This time it's Emmy who gives a shrug. I suppose it can't be helped if it happens. Unless you're a time traveler or something. You don't actually think that could happen, do you? I don't think we do we? Rin shrugs again. That seems to be her default response to everything. I suppose not, because I reserve the right to change my opinion at a moment's notice. For Rin, this statement makes a disturbing amount of sense. The fact that I realize this now frightens me a bit. I wonder if Emmy gets this feeling all the time. If she does, she's not showing it, though Emmy merely nods. As expected. What's that supposed to mean? This time it's Emmy who shrugs. It's like she's using Rin's own weapons against her. Your response is the sort of thing I'd expect from you, that's all. Am I really that predictable? Emmy's smile seems to border on gloating. That's just your unpredictability is pretty predictable. Well, that's alright then. That's the weird thing, isn't it? You can be like, completely unpredictable, but then because you're so unpredictable, it's expected, so it becomes predictable. I didn't get the chance to see whether Rin is being serious or not as the bell rings. I didn't notice the lunch period slipping by at all. Hanging out with these two was far too interesting. Emmy jumps up and look of panic on her face. Oh no, I need to stop by my room to pick up my notebook for the next class. Don't you wish you had a time machine now? Rin seems rather smug as she delivers this line like she'd just won an argument. Emmy ignores Rin's comment. Sorry it's out, but could you make sure our garbage gets thrown away? I usually clean up myself, but I've got to run. Sure, no problem. Emmy darts away with an urgency I'm starting to expect from her. I don't bother asking Rin why she couldn't help. She already seems to be preoccupied with something else entirely she wanders off. She's probably used to Emmy taking care of cleanup, and for some reason I doubt Emmy's ever raised the issue with her. Cleaning up from lunch doesn't take long, so I have plenty of time to toss our garbage and get to class. Misha greets me with a wave and a devious grin as I walk through the door. Didn't see you in the cafeteria, Hichan. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Like, seriously. Like, when the focus went to Emmy, it's like Misha and Shizune kind of like faded into the background randomly. Yeah, I decided it was too crowded there. Misha's grin gets even wider. Oh really? Are you sure you weren't participating in an illicit rendezvous? What are you talking about? You're on the roof, right? We're both Rin and Emmy, no less. You, Casanova, you. We just had lunch, that's all. Misha bursts into laughter, drawing the attention of several of my classmates. You're so adorable when you blush like that, Hichan. She gives me a conspiratorial wink. Don't worry, your secret's safe for me. There's no secret. Oh? Misha seems disappointed and then brightens up again. Time will tell. I don't know what the hell she's talking about, but blessedly our teacher comes in and the class starts. Another day of class has finally dragged itself to a close. Unexpectedly, I managed to stay awake for the whole day. You know, I remember, like, it was earlier this week when I was at the college. I had, like, just woke up and I was just like, and, like, got to the college. And, like, the first freaking subject to go through, like, this is, like, an IT course that I'm on and all that. And it, like, has math in there as well, you know, like, formulas and stuff. Just like, I can't do this shit even when I'm wide awake, let alone half asleep. I felt I was gonna fall asleep at the computer. But I didn't. But whatever. It was still a pain in the ass, though, with that. Once it, like, shifted to a different subject where it wasn't as complicated, it was like, okay, I got this. With a formula thing, it's just like, pretty sure that counts as a miracle. My legs seem unwilling to stand up for a moment. I guess the run took a lot out of me. I head down the hallway and make my way to my room. I sit down and half-heartedly chip away at my homework for a while, feeling like a vulture picking out a particularly unsavory carcass. It knows that knows this is what it eats, but it's not sure that it shouldn't be ordering takeout instead. I don't think I can take this, but it's important to get my work done. Now, let's see, what was I supposed to be looking over again? No, it's a losing battle, but I'll fight it anyway. Halfway through my math homework, of course it'd be math, I put my pencil down. This isn't working, I need a distraction. You know, that's the opposite with me, just like when I'm like studying, well, in the particular case, like music, I'm like given pieces to learn and all that by my guitar teacher, and I'm just like distracted all the time, so that when it comes time for the lesson, I'm just like, so how's it coming along with this track? And it's like, didn't really do any practicing. Unfortunately, my options for distractions are rather slim. I'm not in the mood to read right now. Kenji is unusually out of his room at the moment. If I go to the student council room, I'll just end up doing work for those two. And heaven only knows where everyone else is, except for... well, I suppose that's an option. I grab my shoes and head for the track. Emily's probably down there. Is where she is pretty much, well, I wouldn't say 24/7, but most of the day, I imagine, outside of class. And, you know, well, when it's time to go to bed. Track practice is just ending as I arrive at the track. Well, and lunchtime as well, but whatever. She's usually there. The sun is beginning to dip low in the sky. Has it really got that late already? What are you doing down here, Sal? Come to spy on me, have you? Well, give him a shrug. To be honest, I'm not sure why I'm down here. I didn't have anything better to do. I figure that's about right. At the moment, Emmy's the only person I can think of who I could visit. So I'm your last resort, am I? Nobody cool around, so I'll just go see Emmy. Is that what you thought? She actually looks angry. I don't know, man. It's just like, you can't really take that as a serious angry face. A chance for some teasing of my own presents itself. Actually, yeah, I guess you are. Emmy pouts, widening her eyes to give the maximum amount of puppy dog resemblance. Kidding, I was kidding! So, you are down here to stalk me. Wait, what? That's not what I meant! Why would I stalk you anyway? It's not like it requires stalking. If you're not a sleeper in class, you're down here, right? Emmy laughs at this comment. Well, you're not all wrong, I suppose, but you forgot about eating. I do that too, you know. I nod, conceding the point. Plus to hang out with Rin sometimes too, so really I might take some effort to stalk. What do you two do together anyway? You don't seem to have a lot in common. She puts her hands on her hips and assumes a superior air. That's what you think. It's got all sorts of hidden hobbies, you know. Really? Like what? Or did she say I or it? Man, I don't even know. It's like 9 in the morning. I've been up since like freaking. I slept through all of yesterday for the most part. So like I woke up around about maybe 9 or 10, and like fatigue is slowly starting to set in, and I'm like, except I don't think I snore though, but you get the idea. I'm feeling a bit drowsy. Emmy puts her head to one side as if she's trying to remember what it is she does in her free time. Well, Rin and I go out shopping sometimes. I guess that makes sense. Emmy's a girl after all, but Rin? What is with that? Just like, oh yeah, it's expected of a woman to, you know, like shopping and stuff. I think it's kind of general neutral on that. It just seems like it's more common, but whatever. Rin comes with you. We usually swing by the art supply store. But she likes this music store that sells all kinds of weird sounding stuff. She says it helps focus her. That makes a little more sense. I see. Any other hidden hobbies? Emmy wags a finger at me. No, why would I go and reveal all my dark secrets to you? We hardly know one another. Somehow I think that's all that Emmy has in the way of hobbies. Still, I don't think my question has been answered. Even if you do have a few hobbies, I still don't see why you hang out with Rin so much. I mean, she's kind of weird, isn't she? This comment causes Emmy to laugh loudly. That's the understatement of the year. So why? I mean, you're a lot better at conversation and stuff, so I figured to hang out with a lot of people, but I think I've only ever seen you with Rin. Emmy seems unusually defensive. Hey, hang out with plenty of people that aren't Rin, you just don't see me doing it because I'm not in your classes. Okay, but that still doesn't explain why you hang out with Rin. I'm not even sure why I want to do this. I guess it's because lunch was so strange. Emmy shrugs, looking for a moment very Rin-ish. Because we have similar outlooks. If you would ask me the least likely answer to my question, that would be it. What do you mean? It's like... Okay, Rin paints and stuff, right? Yes. I'm not sure where this is going. Well, I run. And that's why we're similar. You lost me. Emmy frowns as if trying to figure out her answer. Well, maybe it's that we do things for the same reasons. Huh? You know, we follow our passions. So you're passionate about running and Rin's passionate about art. Is that it? Well, sort of. Let me think. Well, Rin explained it to me once, but I don't know how much of it I followed. Not surprising. I think any explanation from Rin would probably confuse anyone. She says we both chase after an extreme. Like she's always trying to find a new way to show a particular feeling or something. And I run because of the feeling I get from it. And since we don't allow ourselves to be slowed down by anything, we make a connection based on that. What do you mean, slow down by anything? Emmy looks surprised and points to her legs. Well, because I'm a runner and Rin's a painter even without arms. So we respect each other's determination. And that's why we hang out. I think. Well, I'm not sure that made any sense to me, but from Emmy's sheepish expression, she's not sure about it either. Honestly, it's not something I think about much. We just get along. I think that's really all that matters. I suppose she's got a point there. Well, the question strikes me, and since I've got nothing better to do, I ask it. So, what got you so into running anyway? Oh, I've been running since I was very little. Well, real little. Same thing. My dad was a runner, and so as soon as I could walk, he started teaching me how to run. It was a father-daughter thing, you know? Our own mutual hobby. A shadow crosses her face, and I'm shocked to see her looking sad. Did something happen between them? Man, I don't have a lot of time left. Sorry, but I've got to get a few more laps in before I go see the nurse. She races off around the track, hair streaming in the wind. It seems to me she's going a lot faster than she was this morning. As she rounds the track, I catch a glimpse of her face. It's much the same as it was this morning, but her eyes seem to have taken on a harder edge. I guess she's right. I don't really know much about her. Yeah, I'm starting to vaguely recall, like, how Emmy's route actually plays out, because I've actually played for this one before, but I can't quite remember all the details. I watch her run for a little while and then stand up to head back to my room. Hey! She spots me leaving and waves to catch my attention. Don't forget, same time tomorrow morning, got it? Got it. I'll head back to my room. Homework beckons. I can't sleep. My body's tired, but my mind is kept awake, staring at the ceiling in the hollow darkness of my room. Oh, that's me every night I try to sleep. It's like when I sleep through hour parts of the day, freaking easy. When I try to sleep through a night because I gotta be up in the morning, oh, impossible, man. It's just like, oh, mind, switch off already. It's like my mind just like goes all creative as well. It's just like, got some song ideas here. It's just like, pisses me off, man. I grasp desperately for a thread of thought, hoping that I can run my brain into the ground. All I can think of is how I can't think of anything. Well, that's weird, isn't it? This is not productive at all. I wonder if this is a side effect of my medication, though it seems odd for it to take so long to show up. Then again, maybe I'm just not used to my new surroundings as I'd like to think. I don't know, but for whatever reason I'm awake and I shouldn't be. This is ridiculous. Ignoring my body's stiffness, I get out of bed and look at my clock. 4 in the morning, and last time I checked it was only 1. So maybe I slept a little. Oh, I know that feeling so bloody well. You're just like lying in bed, you're stuck with your mind just wandering. It's like, shut off, mind, damn it! And then you look at the time and like a few hours have passed and you're just like, maybe I slept through that. And then you're like, no, I probably didn't. Maybe, no, I don't know. Yeah, it even says it. I don't know. It's just like, you don't know if you've had any sleep when you look at the freaking time and then a bunch of times pass, because you've just like could assume like you've been stuck in your mind just kind of going over this and that, trying to sleep, and your mind just won't shut off, so you just kind of like tossing and turning and you're just like, oh, shut off, mind. And then hours pass, you're like, surely I must have had some sleep, but you don't know. I throw on some clothes and head out of my room. Walk might do me some good. I'm surprised at how chill the air is compared to the relative warmth of the day. I can almost see my breath as I wander the campus waiting for the sun to come up or for me to fall asleep. At this point, either option works for me. You know, actually, he has to be up for the track meeting thing, hasn't he? So it's like, maybe that's why it is. It's like, oh, you've got to do something tomorrow? Well, I'm gonna freaking screw over your sleeping pattern, bitch. I find myself at the track where, for the first time, Emmy's not out running. I suppose that makes sense. It's too early, even for her. The bleachers' seats are cold, but at this point, I welcome the sensation. The sun is starting to show its face over the horizon, and I know with an awful certainty that I'll get no more sleep tonight. The sun's steadily strengthening rays start to warm me up, and I watch the dew on the ground begin to steam slightly. My mind calms a little. Someone's shaking me. Hey, wake up! Huh? What? I guess I fell asleep after all. What are you doing out here? You're gonna catch a cold or something. I rub my eyes and I'm confronted by Emmy, who bends over me with a worried expression. I'm still a little groggy, so my response comes out in a mumble. And sleep, watch the sun come up. Sounds like something Rin would say. I shrug, feeling the stiffness that comes with sleeping on a bench for a few hours. What a very Rinish thing to do there. Is there? I wouldn't know. Emmy grins a little at me, my somewhat cranky response. So couldn't sleep, eh? Obviously we need to run you harder today. Even though I've only known her for about a week, this seems a very Emmy-ish response to the problem. Hey, my body was plenty exhausted after yesterday. My mind was just racing, that's all. My mind was already running, now I've got to be running physically? Are you kidding me? I don't see the difference. If you run hard enough, your brain will get tired too. I'm seriously questioning the wisdom of doing this first thing in the morning. I don't know if my grades will be able to handle me tiring my brain out like that. Emmy pulls me up from the bleachers with surprising strength for someone her size. Now come on, Sal, we've got work to do. I don't actually know if I'm up to this today, to be honest. I mean, obviously didn't get much sleep, and what sleep I got was all in the bleachers. I don't know, should I really be running? Emmy glares at me. Good heavens! What are you talking about? Of course you should be running. How else do you expect to work out the kinks? You've been sleeping on the bleachers, for heaven's sake. The best way to get that soreness out is to run around a little. Best way? Surely there are alternatives, right? Now stop hiding in the bleachers and get down here. There's no arguing that. I'm pretty sure she'd kill me if I didn't do as she said. I get to my feet and hop down to the track. The sun is warming things up rather nicely, I think. Amy and I begin to stretch out, and I find myself once again hard-pressed not to stare. This is how I have to wake up every morning. I might be able to get used to this. You know, it's not polite to stare. I wasn't staring, I swear. I'm getting a sense of deja vu in this scene, are you? Amy raises an eyebrow and considers me for a moment as if evaluating my response. There's a brief moment where I'm afraid for my life. But then she smiles and laughs, shaking her head slowly. Honestly, you didn't have to deny it so seriously. In response, I clap my hands together and go for a change of subject. So, that's enough stretching, right? Amy gives a casual shrug. Do you feel stretched? That's really how you tell. Well, I do feel up to the run, if that's what she means. Yeah, I feel ready to go. Same as yesterday, okay? We'll just run for a mile at a steady pace. Don't worry about going really fast. Just worry about keeping the pace, got it? You're the boss. Amy grins again and we take off around the track. I think I'm going to die. We're not even done with the first lap and my legs are on fire. My breath is coming in ragged gasps. I can feel sweat pouring down my brow and we've only just now rounded the second turn. Come on, Isai, you've got 3 more laps to go. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. I think I might hurl. Somehow we're on the second lap. Emmy's not even sweating. How can she do this nervously? For some reason I'm still moving. She's like a machine. Third lap. What happened to the second? Almost there, Sal. Liar, we've got another 2. Nothing to be done. This. Emmy whirls around and begins running backwards. Her face is a mask of anger that surprises me. Never say that! If you say that, you'll have already lost. Keep moving. If you're alive, you can keep moving, damn it! Well, language, we're on the 4th lap now. She really seems to want me to keep going. Legs move, move, they feel so sluggish. I'm in mud or tar. I can't go on. I'll go on. Contradicts. Final stretch, Sal. Give it all you've got. I pump my legs as fast as they'll go. They keep refusing to obey my commands. Somehow I keep moving. Somehow I finish. That's it, Sal. I knew you had it in you. The anger Amy showed a lap ago is gone, replaced with pride. She's positively radiant, like she just won the gold medal or something. I stagger to a stop and fall to my hands and knees, gasping for air. My heart is pounding far harder than it has in a long time. I don't think it's done this since... Oh God. Please slow down, heart. Just slow down. Stop racing. I cough and for some reason feel a grin crossing my face. So this is how I die, huh? Trying to stay healthy? How ironic. I'm all ready to give up right there. But then I feel my heart slow down. 2 hands grab under my arms and tug upwards. I look up and see Emmy standing over me with a mixture of delight and worry. On your feet! Come on, you'll never catch your breath that way! Somehow I manage to stand. I try to raise my arms above my head, but they feel like lead. I start to walk around the track while Emmy keeps close to me like she's afraid I'll fall over or something. She may not be far off. I feel terrible and say so. Emmy laughs. She's like, ha ha ha, you almost died, ha ha. But you finished, didn't you? You said you couldn't, but you did. Isn't that worth it? I'm not sure. I don't really have the breath to say so. That small grin I felt on my face earlier hasn't left. So what if my heart's weak? I still survived this morning. Maybe I'll survive tomorrow too. As soon as it becomes apparent that I'm not going to suddenly keel over, Emmy takes off on her sprints. I don't know how the hell she can manage to sprint after running a mile, but I guess she's in much better shape than me. Once again, as I walk around the track, I can't help watching Emmy sprint. It's weird, but she's like a different person when she's pushing herself. Last time I noticed her eyes, but this time it's her mouth that catches my attention. She's not wearing her noble grin. She's still smiling, but there's a tightness to it. It's almost grim, like she's fighting a losing battle but doesn't care. She seems to be running harder like she did yesterday. Sweat has started to pour down her face, but she keeps going. Her mouth finally opens as she can no longer get enough air through her nose. As she passed me once more, legs bumping, arms swinging in time, and her lips slightly parted. She looks beautiful. After we've both taken some laps around the track to cool down, Emmy changes back to her usual self. The transformation I saw in her is gone. Not bad today, Sal. There's almost admiration in her voice. What do you mean? I would have stopped if you hadn't yelled at me. Emmy colors a little, seemingly embarrassed about her outburst. Sorry about that. I just can't stand see people give up. Especially about something like this. Seeing I can't go on as silly, you're obviously going on while you're saying it. That's what this is all about. What, saying silly things? Emmy sticks her tongue out at me. Idiot, I mean showing that you're alive. Showing I'm alive, huh? I don't know, it'd have to be so painful. But it does feel pretty good despite that. Besides, this is one of the hardest days. What do you mean? Whenever you start a workout, it's difficult the first day, really hard the second day, and then the third day is easier. You'll still get days that are really hard, but they'll pop up less and less. So this will eventually get really easy, huh? Yeah, of course. But then you have to increase the difficulty or you'll never get ahead. You'll just get complacent and you'll lose the sense of accomplishment. So we'll have to run more than just 4 laps, huh? Yep, but not for a while. You'll have to be careful, you know. Thought strikes Emmy and her face lights up. Got it. Got what? You can come with me to see the nurse. That way you won't fall over dead or anything. How charming. When? Right now, of course. You'll need a shower and everything, right? We don't have much time then. Grabbing my hand, she's off, pulling me along with her. My goodness, but you're in a hurry today, aren't you, Emmy? I have no idea how we got to the nurse's office so fast, but here we are. The nurse grins at Emmy and seems to completely ignore me. You've got plenty of time to take a shower and get to class, you know. There's no need to run through the hallway like that. I can hear you coming a mile away. Somehow it doesn't seem like he's actually scolding Emmy at all. It's like this is a sort of routine between the two of them. Emmy does a passable imitation of remorse. I'm sorry, I won't ever do it again. The nurse and Emmy both laugh at some private joke. Suddenly it seems that he notices me. Ah, hello, Sal. What brings you here? Well, I mean, Sal's officially joined me on the morning runs. I start to explain, but Emmy cuts me off. I thought he might head to visit you so that he doesn't die or anything. The nurse raises his eyebrow in mock horror. Yes, that would certainly put me out of a job fast, wouldn't it? Well then, Sal, let's have a look at you. Lift up your shirt, would you? I'm suddenly very conscious of the fact that Emmy's in the room with me and blushed in spite of myself. And the bird just... My ears, my head. Ow. Every day. The nurse seems to sense my discomfort, but it only seems to amuse him. Ow. A bit shy, are we? He makes an apologetic bow to Emmy. Sorry, Emmy, I tried to get you a free show, but it doesn't seem to have worked. Emmy stiffens slightly and fires a look of annoyance at him. You're an asshole. Emmy bows to me apologetically. I'll wait outside, okay, Sal? I begin to stammer that it's not really a big deal. She doesn't have to leave, but she's already out the door and the nurse is laughing as he watches her go. Still got it. I don't follow. He laughs again like he's in on some joke that's over my head. I can still get her flustered. It's a competition of sorts we've had going for a while now. That sounds incredibly sinister to me, and it seems as if the nurse realizes that too. That sounds a lot worse than it actually is, come to think of it. I wasn't going to say anything. No, you're right. I should fill you in so that you don't get the wrong idea. I am actually relatively new here, you see. I got hired on the same year Emmy started going here. Before that, I worked with Emmy during her initial rehab following her accident. Hold on, what? We had to amputate her legs after a really nasty car wreck. Nearly killed her and succeeded. He shuts up abruptly. I blink at receiving this unexpected piece of news. Well, that's not my place to say. Anyway, we've known each other for quite a while. So we have a slightly more familiar relationship than is strictly professional. He seems embarrassed like he's done something stupid. I guess he's really worried about that. You have to hand it to... wave a hand to let him know it's not a big deal. No worries, sir. I promise I'm going to be discreet. I had been wondering about what caused Emmy to lose her legs, and that was one of the scenarios I thought of. There were only so many ways that could have happened, but actually hearing about the facts, it's still a little shocking. Well, thanks. You're a good kid, Esau. I can see why Emmy became friends with you. She's quite in the middle, you know. What do you mean? You didn't see her learning to walk. She'd go for so much longer than the others in the hospital. She refused to quit. Normally it takes years to get to the point where you can even think about running again. Emmy did it all in about a year. You almost seems proud of her, like a father who watches his daughter win a competition or something. Well, she'd probably have done it faster if not for the fact that we wouldn't let her. Wouldn't let her? Why not? Because she'd go for so long that her legs would start bleeding where they met her prosthetics. It's a real concern. It's why she comes by every day after she runs. To say nothing of the risk of infection if her legs get cut up under her prosthetics or dirty. But enough about that. If we don't get you on your way soon, Emmy will think we're up to something. As he says this, he gives a wink and begins checking the heartbeat. The stethoscope is way too cold. He really should have heated up or something before he used it. After a few moments, he leans back satisfied. Well, you sound pretty good to me. Say, Sal, you didn't have any chest pains while you were running, did you? No, not really. I had some trouble catching my breath, though, and my heart was racing by the end, too. The nurse frowns as I say this, but then shrugs. It's probably just because you're out of shape. But if you don't improve, then you should let me know, okay? Don't push yourself too much, and of course, if you have any chest pains, come to me immediately, right? Well, I put my shirt back on, and the nurse leans out of the doorway to call in Emmy. What took you so long? Now I'm going to be late. The nurse gives me a significant look. I was just seducing us out, that's all. What? Come on! What? Come on! What have I told you about seducing my friends? I had expected Emmy to be shocked by this, but instead she seems merely annoyed, scolding the nurse as if he were a child stealing cookies. Meanwhile, I try hard not to blush at the nurse's innuendo. I'll try not to do it again, though I fear young Esau may be lost to the female gender forever. Not freaking likely. Awkward pause. I didn't mean to say that out loud, but both the nurse and Emmy regarded me for a moment before bursting into laughter again. Told you he was funny, didn't I? I guess Emmy does talk to the nurse about a lot of stuff. Well, so you should probably get moving. You still need a shower before class starts, don't you? Crap, he's got a point, and it looks like I've only got half an hour. Thanks for your time. I'll see you later, Emmy. I dash out of the room as the nurse begins to remove Emmy's prosthetics. As I head down the hallway, I can just barely hear his voice drifting after me. Emmy, you've got to be more careful. I make it back to my room and shower in record time. It occurs to me that I've already been up for 4 hours and class hasn't even started yet. It's going to be a really, really long day. I hope I don't fall asleep in class.
Boo, haven't seen this screen in a while. The transition scene.